Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Movie Day, the day where we talk about movies. Today, we're going to talk about James Cameron's epic Avatar, The Way of Water. Avatar, The Way of Water, aka Avatar 2, comes 13 years after Avatar 1. James Cameron has come back with another epic adventure. This one is 3 hours, 12 minutes according to IMDb. According to me, who watched it in the theaters yesterday, it was about 3.5 hours long. So, Avatar: The Way of Water is written by James Cameron, Rick Jaffa, and Amanda Silva, and stars Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldaña, Sigourney Weaver, Stephen Lang, Kate Winslet, Cliff Curtis, and a bunch of other nobodies. A movie like this, the movie stars are irrelevant. Matt Damon was originally supposed to be Sam Worthington's role, and he was supposed to be the lead character. Matt Damon famously turned it down in case he had to do ADR for the latest Bourne Identity movie. So James Cameron famously offered Matt Damon 10% of Avatar, and Damon turned it down. That's a fun little fact. Damon missed out on just a couple $100 million for turning down Avatar just so he could do ADR for Bourne Identity. Not a good move. Not a good move. If James Cameron asks you to be in a movie, just say yes. I mean, just say yes. Like, all right. So we got Avatar: The Way of Water. This is a sequel that has been much anticipated. Ever since the first one came out, people were already talking about the sequel. Cameron was always saying, oh yeah, I want to do a trilogy. Now they're saying, oh, I want to do 8 or 9 films. He's like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to direct the 8th or 9th film. I'm like, okay, this is getting a little bit ridiculous. We got to walk before we can run, because if each one is 13 years apart, it's going to be a long time before we see another one. So this is the synopsis. Jake Sully lives with his newfound family formed on the extrasolar moon Pandora. Once a familiar threat returns to finish what was previously started. That's a terrible phrasing of sentence. Who wrote this? IMDb. Come on, guys. Jake must work with Ney'tiri and the army of the Na'vi race to protect their home. All right. That's the plot of the movie. You watch this movie and like you're not really concerned about the plot. This movie is all about scale and spectacle. You want to watch this film in 3D on the largest screen possible with the loudest sound possible. Hopefully you do not have rude people sitting next to you like I did. They smelled and reeked of marijuana, which I don't mind a little bit, but they freaking reeked, and we're talking the whole time. Anyway, this is a movie that the plot is kind of irrelevant. We get it. Okay, there's blue people on the planet. The big bad man comes in and destroys it all. You know, is there just to like devour it, which I'll get into a little bit. That kind of bugged me a little bit later. But you watch this movie, at least I watched this movie for scale and spectacle and just seeing just the sheer, like the way the technology has evolved. Like it's just gotten better. Even the first one still holds up to this day. I watched it not too long ago. Granted, that was on an airplane. It wasn't exactly the best theater viewing experience. Sorry, Jimbo. It still holds up. It's a fun adventure. You get seeked into this movie. You know, you just really want to see what's going on. I didn't watch this movie because I'm like, oh, it's going to be great. The acting's going to be amazing. Writing is going to be incredible. The plot, I wonder what's going to happen. You know that it's the blue people. It's the natives versus the colonists. You know, obviously it's pro-natives, pro-Earth, pro-their Pandora's box planet. And then there's the big bad humans, who pretty much every single human is just terrible, horrible people. They're just there to, aside from Jemaine Clement, which I was actually surprised seeing Jemaine, not to be confused with Tremaine. He plays an American in it, so he had a really good accent. He really melded into this role. So I think he was a real highlight in this film. I didn't know he was going to be in this movie. He's actually a really good actor. He's a comedic actor, really funny guy. Flight of the Conchords movie is super funny. These guys have a lot of talent. Jemaine Clement played the role of a scientist really well. You believe that he's a scientist. The guy's a really smart guy, and again, comedic actor. So he's a big highlight. This is a 3 hour and 15 minute long movie. If your movie is over 3 hours long, it better be damn entertaining. And this was very entertaining. There were times where it was like, okay, they're standing around talking nonsense. Come on, what do we do? I found myself rooting for the humans more than the blue people. I'm sorry, why are the blue people getting all the freaking credit? I'm a human. I like seeing all the human stuff. They're mining basically gold from the brains of these whales, which is terrible. But I wonder if there's a way to like mine it from whales that are like about to die, maybe like a win-win situation type thing. It's a fun ride. It's like a roller coaster. You watch it, you kind of know what's going to happen. There's some twists, there's some turns, there's some emotion involved. And overall, it was a really, really fun movie. You watch it for the spectacle. And for the spectacle alone, spectacle 10 out of 10. Storyline, plot, it's cool. We've got Jake Sully, who I don't understand. He was a human, and then he turned into an avatar. Can someone explain this to me? I was so confused by that. I thought he was always a human, but he was controlling the avatar as a human. But then he became an avatar. So now he is an avatar, and he's making avatar babies. He's got like 3 or 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls, and he's procreating. I was so thrown off by that. Like, how is he able to reproduce if he's not an actual avatar? Did he mold into it? So Jake Sully's the leader of this tribe, and you know, he's got the sons rebel, they kind of betray their father at pretty much every single step of the way. Whatever Jake tells them to do, they'll just do the opposite. They'll just completely disobey him at all times, which I thought was interesting. The Marine, the bad guy, is like reincarnated. This isn't really a spoiler. This isn't a spoiler. He's reincarnated, essentially. His genes are recreated, and all his memories are implanted into him. So it's the bad guy, but it's not the bad guy. And then there's like a character of the spider, the son of that bad guy that was raised by wolves, essentially, but not by wolves, but by the Avatar blue people. That character's okay. It's like, so you could relate. You could have a human that can relate to the Avatar blue people. Again, like, you don't walk away from this movie being like, oh, this is such a groundbreaking story. Man versus nature. It's natives versus colonists. James Cameron's obviously pro-natives, right? There was not a single redeemable human being in this movie. I mean, the scientist I thought was really good, Jemaine Clement, but he's still like, he's doing his job. He's not really a good guy. He's still depicted as a bad guy. So I was still really interested when, you know, there isn't, you're obviously trying to, you know, they're saying to root for the Avatar blue people, but I'm like, I'm not really rooting for them. I don't know. But like, the humans didn't really make sense. The humans, like, why they had to go to the planet just to like try to kill Jake Sully. He wants revenge, I guess. It's a revenge plot from the first one. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched the first one. But that didn't really make sense, because before they had the unobtainium that they wanted to mine, so that made more sense that they were going in. This one, it's like they're getting the gold juice from the brains of these whale creatures in Pandora. You know, now that you think of it, like, why don't they just capture a baby, a male and a female, right? Hear me out. Male and a female, bring them back to whatever, another planet, and just breed them, farm them. And then, you know what I mean? And then get the golden stuff. I guess it makes humans not age, so it's very expensive. By the end of it, I wasn't left thinking about really the plot. It's really, you're along for the ride for this adventure. You want them to survive, of course, but like, a lot of the humans get pummeled and just get killed out of nowhere. And so I was just kind of like, okay, so we're supposed to just straight up root for all the blue people, right off the bat, even though we are humans and seeing humans out there doing their jobs, military people, right, just getting decimated and destroyed and killed blatantly. I'm just like, man, there isn't a single, like, I think it would have been more interesting if there were humans that were good on the human side, and we're saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't infiltrate their zone, have that more of a conflict. But no, it was more of just Avatar people versus the humans. And then part of the humans created avatars, so they were able to be Avatar blue people, but they were still Marines, so they acted like humans even though they were blue people. I don't know. So, you know, again, the more I try to explain the plot, the more I'm like, all right, this plot kind of sucks, right? I'm sorry, James. It isn't the best plot. You know, they're just saving their land, you know, and they didn't really have a reason to go to the water. There's no water within the first hour and 15 minutes of the movie. I was looking at my watch. It's an hour and 15 minutes before there's any water in the movie. So I thought that was interesting, right? But by the time they do get to water, again, it's beautiful, breathtaking visuals, incredible audio. If you look at the shots and watching it in 3D, that is an experience. Definitely go see it. Go see the movie. Enjoy the movie. Let me know what you think. What do you guys think of Avatar: The Way of Water? It should be called Avatar: The Wow. I don't know. It's funny. It's like coming out of the theater, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give this a 9.5 out of 10. Just because it's sheer technical. And like, I guess in anything you could ever ask for in a movie, a pure popcorn entertainment flick. The first one had more of a message of sustainability and growth. And then this was more of a message of just family and protecting your land type thing, which is a really good message. But overall, yeah, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Avatar: Way of Water, 9 out of 10. Worth watching at least once in the theater. The best way, and in my humble opinion, only way, is to watch it in the theaters while it's 3D. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Jemaine. Heyo. By the way, we made a movie. It's called Simp. This is brought to you by Simp. He likes you. It's about an Instagram model that gets kidnapped at a fake photo shoot based on true events. I'll leave the trailer and the link to the description below. I'll also leave a link right here for it so you guys can check it out and let me know what you guys think. I'm Jemaine Heyo, CEO of Heyo Studios, where we make movies. And I also review movies here on Movie Day. Like this video and subscribe and make every day a movie day. Thank you and good night.